Okay. Ruby Gillman. How do I feel about this movie? Well, let's just say I think this happened to the Dreamworks alarm after the movie came out.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
What is up, movie masters? Welcome back to a new video. Today I got another review for you guys, and I just got out of the theater of the movie, the latest Dreamworks film titled Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. The movie tells of Kraken, secret Kraken, Ruby Gillman, who is turning into a giant Kraken and, just trying to hide it and learn about everything about the Kraken. It's kind of hard to explain the plot, but really, she's just trying to learn how to be a Kraken. That's basically the movie, and, I just got out of the theater for it. When I first saw the trailers, I was honestly not anticipating this at all. I knew I was going to see it either way, but I wasn't really anticipating it. I wasn't being like, I'm counting down the days, I can't wait for this film. No, I just knew I was going to see this when this came out, and that was it. That's all I knew. And I just got out of the theater for it. And after seeing the movie, it pains me to say this, but Dreamworks has just gone downhill again. Think Boss Baby, family business, but better. This is better than that. Though not by much, in my opinion. Now remember, before I start the video, let me just say this. This is my opinion. My opinion is never the right opinion. You have the right to your own opinion. So, don't ever let my opinion judge your taste in movies. And you remember to go check this out in theaters and check this out for yourself. Or if you don't want to, you can always wait for this on streaming. Because that's what it seems to be. It streams in like 2 months instead of for DVDs, And my opinion may not be right. You have the right to yours. So just remember that. This is also a kid's film, so it's not really meant for teenagers or adults. So also remember that. Your kids might love this, but us, teens or adults, that's a different story. But before we begin, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. Subscribe to my friends' channels. Subscribe to my new channel, Ranked, link in the description below. That's where I'm going to rank random stuff on that channel. And next time, I think I'm gonna do some Owl House characters on that channel once I finish up my Owl House reactions on my Patreon. Also, go check that out. Link in the description below. And enough from talking. Let's get into this review for Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. So yeah, I just got out of the theater for this. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, meh. It did nothing for my excitement. I was not excited for this film. All I was like was, alright, I'm going to see this movie. That's kind of it. That's all I'm really looking forward to. And at least my expectations didn't get ballooned. I'm really disappointed. I'm really sad. So, first, let's start off with the positive, like the animation. The animation is not really phenomenal, I would say, but it was really good. The animation was great, and Dreamworks has really moved, not moved, grown maybe with the animation. Like they did, and they've been doing great with the animation. The bad guys, great animation. Puss in Boots, Wish, phenomenal, amazing. And it's all because of the Spider-Man movies, of course. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse. We all know that. But Dreamworks has really proved that they can change animation, really, and push its boundaries, maybe. Because the movements, whenever they're moving in this movie, like when the Kraken family are moving, amazing look, amazing movement. I love that. And the colors with the animation, it's perfect. Like, they have been doing great with the animation. Now, usually when I see movies, I'm a sucker for the water in movies, which is why I'm a huge sucker for Elemental, review coming soon. And, I'm a sucker for water. I was not a sucker for the water in this movie, mostly because we were in it for a lot of the time. But it did look nice. It did look nice. Just not really nice. Just personal thing. I'm a sucker for the water, just saying. But you know, this movie was really good, like really good, and with the animation, and you know, that's the whole point for him. That's a point for you, Dreamworks. Point for you, right there. Another positive, I guess, is the backstories, maybe. Okay, there's a whole backstory with the Krakens and mermaids. It's in the trailers. The full one isn't in the trailer though, but basically the backstory of it all, I think it was fine, you know. It was a nice little backstory. It showed why Krakens hate mermaids and how mermaids have their power and all this stuff. That's really nice, I guess. The backstory, A+ for you too. You know, you were good. Well, not A+, but maybe a B+ if I had to say so. And the next positive I can think of, off the top of my head, the making fun of Disney moments. Like, they made fun of Disney a lot of times in this movie. Now, I saw a little bit of a different review before seeing this movie, and once they said what they said, I was like, wait, you are right. Like, all I had in my mind when I watched this movie was The Little Mermaid and how much it made fun of that movie. Like, the mermaid, it's looking especially like Ariel, the Ursula moment, and that's all it was in my head, The Little Mermaid. But this other review, it had it right, you know. It was kind of making fun of Turning Red and Luca at the same time, too. Because coming of age story, and kind of making fun of Luca with the sea monster thing, too. Yeah, because Ruby Gillman is a coming age story, well, she's a sea monster, too, which also happened in Luca and Turning Red. And I may not be a fan of Turning Red, but, you know, I feel like they did a better job. Actually, maybe Ruby Gillman did that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch both again. But Luca, I freaking loved, and you know, they did a good job of making fun of it. Okay, they did a good job. Final positive I can come up with is that this is a kids movie. It's made for kids. Us adults and teens, we have a different point of view, but the kids are gonna love this. They're gonna look at these colors and be like, "Ooh, pretty! Ooh, nice! Ooh, yay!" You know, they're gonna be like that. While we're gonna be like, okay, that was funny. That's funny. Okay, that's adorable. That's adorable. You know, we're gonna have a different mindset. So remember that. And that is technically, in a way, a positive, because this is not meant for us older audience. This is meant for the younger audience who are just gonna watch this for like an hour and just be like, "Mommy, when can I have some more popcorn? You know, when do we get more popcorn?" This is supposed to entertain them. You know, that's my point of view. Now, let's get into the mix. Something that's not really a positive, but I don't think I would call it a full-on negative. 100%. My big mixed thing is the powers, because they show it in the trailer. Did they show invisibility in the trailer, by the way? Hold on, let me just look. I gotta look. I think they showed invisibility, right?
Camouflage?
Camouflage. Okay. Yes, that's an, we don't need that. Laser eyes and steel. Okay, I can understand the steel, and the laser eyes do help in the movie, but the powers, like, that's just we don't need each and every creature to have this type of stuff. They turned Pinocchio into a freaking superhero. We don't need Kraken stat. It was adorable, don't get me wrong, but it's like each and every movie that has like powers and stuff like that, it's always to a script. Invisibility, maybe. Laser eyes. Pew, 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 pew. Super strength. Like, there's always, like, a formula to it. And I'm tired of that. We don't need each and every movie character that gets powers to have the same powers. Like Kraken's having laser eyes. We don't need that. I will admit, though, it did help with the movie at the end, and that's all I'll say, you know. It did its job, but we could have replaced it with something better. That's my only thought, you know. And it's kind of mixed, so I wouldn't really call it a positive and negative. I am upset with it a little bit triggered, but it does help, so I can't really be mad at it. So let's call that a mixed thing. And something I don't know if I would call a negative or mixed. I would just go for mixed for this. but the characters, because... Okay, alright, let's do this. The relationship with Ruby and her mother and her family, it's nice, but the mother is keeping these secrets, and we get it. She wants to protect her daughter, we get it. But the lies and all this other stuff, and the dad and the little brother, like, it's like they don't exist. They're here for one part of the movie, and that is it. And that's kind of annoying when you wish you would get a little bit more of this. Think Elemental. I talked about this in my Elemental non-spoiler review, but the character Claude, and the movie with the little green plant guy, who is in like all the promotion posters, he's in the movie. Not gonna. I don't count this as a spoiler, but I bet his script was like 2 pages long, less than 2 pages maybe. Because he's barely in the movie. That's what these characters are, only they get more screen time. They just don't get much more. And you know, their purpose in the movie, it's not important. It's there just to cut their run time, and it's annoying. And Ruby's friends, I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like the way the main friend talks. I don't like how the other one is creepy, and just, I don't like them. It's not that they're bad people, but they're bad characters, in my opinion.
Gotta admit, these characters are not my favorite.
Ruby as a character herself, she was fine. She did a great job. But, you know, just like the grandma, the mother with the lion, the mermaid, the friends, like the family. Like, even this pirate in the movie. Or not even a pirate. It's sailor, captain, whatever. They're not good characters. This is not a good relationship, in my opinion. And they didn't do a good job with that, sadly. But they do have some good parts. So I will call it a mixed thing. However, characters aren't a big thing in this movie. And that really sucks. But you know what also sucks? The negatives. Which is what we're getting into now. First negative of the movie, it's extremely predictable in my opinion. Like, my mom is always able to pinpoint every part of the movie in every scene of the movie, and it's just annoying. I look at Scream 6 with her, and she's like, I bet it's her, and then she gets it right. You know, and like every movie, I feel like you won't see coming. She finds it out, and that's annoying in my opinion. But this movie, I wouldn't be surprised if she gets the entire movie in the middle of the movie, because that's what I'm guessing. Now, I will admit, there is a surprising part in this movie. I'm like, oh, that, you got me. But the ending, it's satisfying, but predictable. It is so predictable what they do. It's a generic, like every other movie, and it's got those Disney Channel lines, those regular kids movie lines, that's like, makes you cringe, like, oh my god, I heard this thousands of times. And it doesn't do anything risky, different, or anything like that. It doesn't do anything new. It's just predictable, and that sucks. Like, it's not a bad ending, but it's extremely predictable, and that's a negative in my opinion. Another thing, I did say while I was going over that negative is the fact that it does nothing new. So let's go into that more. Like, the only thing it does new is a little bit of the story and making fun of Disney, basically. But this movie, it can basically be called a ripoff, and, you know, it doesn't do anything new. Like, all it does new is these powers for the Krakens, and that isn't even a good thing in my opinion. Like, it's so sad that seeing all these other movies do something new. Even Pixar is doing great with something new. Like, Turning Red, The Pads. Okay, I did not like that movie, but they did something new, and I appreciate that. Didn't stick to the regular formula. Elemental, there's a little scene with LGBTQ and how you handle it. And yeah, that's something we do get a lot, but the way they handle it, like, that's what I love about it. That's why I love that scene when they do it. They use it in the way we need it most. Like, because each and every movie, there's a little checklist now for something new. We gotta have that LGBTQ scene. We gotta have some fights, and and they always go no above and beyond. However, not in a good way when it comes to LGBTQ scenes. And I'm not hating against them. I'm just saying, Velma did it worse with Daphne and Velma in love. Ew, it was not a relationship that should have been made. And these other movies with the LGBTQ, I feel like Pixar is doing the best with them, okay? Well, Pixar and Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers made DC League of Super Pets. We had that little scene in the movie with the little, at the park, and then talking about my owner hitting on that girl right over there, and then it shows the girl trying to talk to a girl, flirting with her.
Same thing happened to me. Nancy got a fiancé, and it was all over. That's French for bye-bye, dog.
That's LGBTQ, and that's how it should be handled. Nothing big to change the plot. Nothing to really, like, you know, it's something that's just there for a little representation, and that's what I like. It's something new that we need and don't need in every freaking movie. And Elemental does the same thing. I'm not going to say what thing they do, but I will say there is a little part of that. Even in Lightyear, and, you know, it doesn't, like, I don't know how to say it. Just, like, it does a great job with how they handle it. Lightyear, you say what you want about the movie, but in my opinion, the little relationship when, you know, the little LGBTQ kiss, I was like, you know what? I'll accept. I like that. I like the way they did that. It wasn't major. It wasn't a big plot-changing thing, mind-changing thing. Nope, it was just a little hint right there, and then boom. It never really mattered. It was just a little something for the audience. Even Strange World did a great job with it, too. Sorry, but I'm running off right here. Ruby Gillman does nothing new, really, sadly, and that's what sucks. They did nothing new. They didn't do anything risky. They stuck to the formula. Not even an LGBTQ scene, in my opinion. Let's see. Unless you count that little "Marry Me" the girl was holding. The girl that was holding that sign that said "Marry Me" in the trailer as an LGBTQ scene, and alright, they did it. But they didn't really do anything new. They didn't do anything risky. They didn't take any risks. They played it safe the entire time. And that sucks, man. I wanted something different. I'm loving the difference we're getting in each of these movies. And Dreamworks has been doing great with these movies recently. Bad Guys and Puss in Boots. Dreamworks was an amazing year for Dreamworks last year. But, you know, the fact that they didn't do anything different, that sucks, okay? That sucks, because we gotta find a new... We use the formula up too much. We need to change it up. And that's what I love about what studios are doing. They're changing it up. Ruby Gillman doesn't do anything different. They do something different with the animation, but that's kind of it. Another negative, in my opinion, personal negative, music choice. Like, okay, I get it with the music. It's a kid's movie, you gotta have that music. But there's this scene with the mermaid and Ruby, kind of in a trip, and the music for it, we didn't really need music for that scene. And if you see the movie, you'll probably understand what I mean. But, because no spoilers, but the music, when they added music to that scene, that specific scene, I was like, we didn't need that. I didn't need to hear that. I could have just stuck with the scene. And the music choice in general, I'm like, oh, God. This feels like a Disney Channel movie. So yeah, that's a personal negative in my opinion. My final negative is just the chemistry of everyone. The only chemistry I find interesting was Ruby Gillman and Connor, the guy that she's in love with in the trailers, you know. That's the only chemistry I was like, okay, they belong with each other. But the rest, like with her mother, or with her family, or grandma, or the mermaid, like I'm just like, oh gosh, this is hard to watch, man. I don't know, I'm probably just ranting off too much right here, but you know, that's just my big negative with it all. You know, the story, it's predictable. It does nothing new. And the chemistry with all of these characters, the characters themselves, I'm just like, oh my god. God, I've seen this so many times, and this is just so annoying to watch. My final negative for this movie, something that has been bothering me since the trailer has begun. Let me talk about it. The trailers show that they don't know they are Krakens. And I'm just in my head thinking, how can you not tell? They are blue with fins for ears and they're big in their hands. Like, how can you not tell the Krakens? And I always thought in my head, they better have an explanation for that. Like, they came onto land and put a spell on everyone, so they only see them as humans, but we, the audience, are seeing them as the Krakens. And, or they just know they're Krakens secretly, and they're just hiding that from the trailers, and they just don't care, That better be one of the explanations. And the way they do handle it, but the way they go, we got some big ranting off when the spoiler review comes out. When I make my spoiler review, you better believe that's going to be a big rant, because I have a lot to say with how they handled how these humans see the Krakens. I have a lot to say about that. So let's just go into the rating right now, and, let's just rate the movie. For action, I will say there is some action in this movie, and enough for me to give it, I would say, let's go with 3 stars. 3 stars. The action whenever they're giant Krakens or fighting the mermaid, in that final battle, it is satisfying, and the action is good in my opinion. So I will say 3 stars for action. Definitely if you count the movements they do, always running away or something like that, I would say that's good action. Maybe. Comedy, I didn't laugh much at this movie. I smiled a couple times, but never fully laughed out loud. My family did. My aunt, my cousins, they seemed to like this movie. They thought it was fun. My little cousin Kasia loved this movie. Me, on the other hand, yeah, we'll just get into that when I rate the movie entirely. But the comedy itself, I'll just give comedy 2.5 stars. It's not really funny in my opinion. The jokes don't land well, and it could have just done a better job in my opinion. It wasn't really funny, really. So 2.5 stars for comedy. Drama, it's not really dramatic. The drama they do have, I guess it is a little bit dramatic, so I will give them props for that. But the way they handle it, I'm just it could have been interesting, but the way they handle it with these characters too, explaining it. So I will give it 2.5 stars, okay? Maybe 3 stars with the drama between the mermaids and the Kraken. That's kind of why. But all of the family issues and the family scenes and the Kraken powers and this friendship, this relationship, they do not do a good job of it. So this is only really getting drama for the Kraken and mermaid backstory. So maybe 3 stars, but 2.5 stars for now. Horror, 0 stars. There's nothing that's gonna horrify you. Well, maybe a half star. There might be a little bit horrifying for just the mermaid whenever it's the big bad monster like it was in the trailer. So maybe half a star for little kids. And finally, for suspense, like I said, it's really predictable. There's this one scene where I didn't see it coming, but I still saw most of that scene coming. So I will say suspense is 2 stars for me. I did not see that one part coming, but that's kind of it. The rest of the movie, I was like, okay, I already know where this is going. And sure enough, I was right. So 2 stars, maybe even less. Overall, in my opinion, this movie was sadly disappointing, and I wished I liked this movie. I really did, but I knew it from the beginning. Those trailers did nothing for me. And let me just say this. My little cousin Kasia, she loved the movie. She even said when we left the theater, can we try to catch the 4 o'clock showing? And they're like, no. And I wasn't going to go back in the theater and see the movie again. In my opinion, it had some good parts. But it's not something I would have paid my money to go to the theater to. I enjoyed my theater experience there, but I would not have paid the money for it myself. In my opinion, this is a movie you rent, honestly. You rent the movie, maybe even just stream it, and so you can turn it off whenever you want and come back to it whenever you want. But in my opinion, if you pay money two-seater for this, it better be for a little kid. Because if you're over the age of like 13 or maybe even 12, you know, you're gonna be like, that was not good. That was not good. So I did not have a good time with this, sadly. I did have okay, maybe a little bit. I had a good time with my family. The movie itself was not really good, and it's kind of bad, but it does got some good stuff in it. So I will say this movie was worth renting. But anyways, guys, that was my review for Ruby Gillman. Remember, my opinion isn't really the right opinion. It's just my opinion. You have the right to your own opinion. Go see the movie, and then talk to me in the comments below what you guys thought about the movie. No spoilers. Save that for the spoiler review. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe. I do believe Dreamworks can do better, but I don't think this is going to be a winner for them. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe. Subscribe to my other friends. My friends' channels. Subscribe to my other channels. Follow my social media. And look forward to my Elemental review in the coming week, hopefully. And I'll see you all next time. Peace out.